Well, after nearly a year of conflict against Hamas in Gaza, Israel is shifting its focus to the northern frontier, from where Iran-backed Hezbollah continues to fire rockets into Israel in support of Hamas. Israeli air defense systems also intercepted a missile detected crossing from Lebanon Wednesday morning. Here's a detailed report.
An Israeli airstrike on Beirut killed a senior Hezbollah commander on Tuesday as cross-border rocket attacks by both sides increased fears of a full-fledged war in the West Asia. Israel's Air Force conducted extensive strikes on Hezbollah targets across southern Lebanon, including weapon storage facilities and dozens of launchers that were aimed at Israeli territory. A senior figure in terrorist group Hezbollah, who headed its missile and rocket force, was also killed. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant claimed the attacks had weakened Hezbollah and would continue. Fearing escalation, Britain urged its nationals to leave Lebanon and said it was moving 700 troops to Cyprus to help its citizens in evacuation. Etihad Airways, Gulf Airlines and Fly Dubai also joined a number of international carriers in suspending flights to Beirut. Germany's Lufthansa had already suspended Beirut flights. US President Joe Biden also made a plea for calm in his last UNGA speech as a president.
We're also working to bring greater measure of peace and stability to the Middle East. The world must not flinch from the horrors of October 7th. Any country would have the right and responsibility to ensure that such an attack can never happen again.
Though Lebanon's Foreign Minister Abdullah Bo Habib criticized Biden's address as not strong and not promising by saying that the US was the only country that can make a difference in the Middle East with regard to Lebanon. The US and fellow mediators Qatar and Egypt have so far been unsuccessful in their efforts to negotiate a ceasefire in nearly year-old conflict in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. Meanwhile, UN Security Council is meeting on Wednesday to discuss the ongoing conflict in Lebanon. The new offensive has stoked fears that nearly a year of conflict between Israel and the terrorist Palestinian group Hamas in Gaza is escalating and could destabilize the entire region. Bureau Report, DD India.
And in his last speech as president before the General Assembly, Joe Biden called on nations to band together amid the spiraling conflict in the West Asia. Biden declared in his final address to the UN General Assembly that the US must not retreat from the world as Israel and Hezbollah militants in Lebanon edged towards all-out war and Israel's operation against Hamas in Gaza near the one-year mark. Biden also stressed the need to end the West Asia conflict and the civil war in Sudan and highlighted US and Western allies' support for Kyiv.
I know many look at the world today and see difficulties and react with despair, but I do not. I won't. As leaders, we don't have the luxury. I recognize the challenges from Ukraine to Gaza to Sudan and beyond. War, hunger, terrorism, brutality, record displacement of people, a climate crisis, democracy at risk, strains within our societies, the promise of artificial intelligence and its significant risk. The list goes on. But maybe because all I've seen and all we have done together over the decades, I have hope. I know there is a way forward.
And Poland's President Andrzej Duda urged Russia to end the conflict with Ukraine at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. Duda said the conflict destabilizes the region and poses a direct threat to the global order and security.
Today we are facing yet again an extremely serious threat to global security. For the past 2.5 years, we have seen Russia's brutal aggression against neighboring Ukraine. This is a flagrant violation of fundamental norms of international law, such as the prohibition of the use of force in international relations. This unprovoked aggression is destabilizing the region and posing a direct threat to the global order and security. We cannot allow this war to turn into another